Hey, welcome into Tony Talking Trash about music tonight. Another solo. John, I'm talking about something. I noticed the other day when I did Skip Spencer, got a pretty good response. I thought to myself, well, what other records do I think are stand out there? And this is one where I'm probably going to come back to later. I just did something on a Net Peacock, and I'm going to come back to that later. And I'm going to come back to this later, probably in some kind of a rating deal. I'm talking about the great Daniel Johnston. Late departed, certainly mentally challenged, certainly had his own, self-destructive ways. If you'd seen the Devil and Daniel Johnston, the movie, you know what we're talking about. Well, I'm talking about particularly a record that I remember being I've got all the cassettes, the early ones. Hi, how are you? Being probably the one that was the most popular in our circles in D.C. I managed the Wiz, the record store, and we got into a situation where we were rating off to Tartoff or Jeff Tartoff or whatever, and we bought a bunch of cassettes. I think a bunch of us did. I bought some. I know Fluffy bought some. I don't know if anybody else got them, but they were there for a short while. Low quality that they were, but it was nice to have them. I don't have them now. I sold them a long time ago because I don't have any cassette. I really don't have any cassette mechanism. I should use it though for my recording and stuff. There are some times when it comes in handy, but I'm talking about the Troubled album on Shimmy disc, the second one on Shimmy disc, 1990, which now, I bought originally on CD. It was only on CD, but now is on this double release. And Artistic Vice is a pretty good one, too. This is another one when he was back living in West Virginia playing with the local people. But this is a record I'm talking about, 1990. When this record came out, I put this record on. I just sat in stunned silence. I was worried when I heard this record, and then knowing Daniel's history and knowing what was going on, and this is long before the Devil and Daniel Johnston or whatever, but this is when this record came out. I was horrified. I don't know what had happened to him. It was almost like it was a bad dream. But what happened was this all centers around his 1987, 1988 trip to New York and Pier Platters. If any of you guys can look online and see that, you'll see the one where he breaks down and cries and tries to, semi evangelize people and sing Christian songs, but at the same time, he's screaming, "Don't play cards with Satan" and stuff. Devil Town, things like that. Well, that's what this record was. When this record first came out, you like the light play. It's almost cartoonish like type of music. Sometimes some of his music has light play, a little heavy on the Laurie thing and the longing, but True Love Will Find You in the End, of course, is, to me, one of the great songs written by anybody in this state. I mean, I live in West Virginia. I don't know that there is another one that carries the weight of something like that. I've played that myself at the end many times, just, a couple times it comes up when you're just inspired. You just feel like you just want to go and do one thing at the end. And that, to me, that's almost as good of an end statement as you have. That's one of the great songs on this. And once again, like all the deepest art, he's in a troubled, turmoil time, much like Tonight's the Night, much like On the Beach. Some of the stuff that bubbles out of that is some of the greatest stuff that you ever hear. You get Ambulance Blues out of that. You get Open Up Your Tired Eyes out of that. And here you get Devil Town out of that. Here you get the song Devil Town and the Spirit World Rising. That's with Shelley and Ronaldo. And they did that when they were in New York. But if you notice, his mind was on this dark thing. I was living in a devil town. The devil has Texas. When you first hear that, you're like, what? What's he's off his medicine or there's something wrong? And you hear about the time when he pushed the lady out of the house. I mean, it's all documented there in the movie. But this is probably the closest to the raw, and it's amazing that they got this unabridged and unadulterated and unedited and unlawyerized to stop it to come out. This is about as honest, raw, and a hard document to deal with. Held the hand of Satan, held the hand of the devil. The way he sings it, oh my Lord. No, he sings about Laura. Oh Laura, what has happened to you? Held the hand. I mean, it's very accusatory. He talks about being on MTV, going back to that whole thing, that whole thing just goes. Some things last a long time. A Jad Fair song, Kramer, good. And then the CBGB's bit where he does "Don't Play Cards with Satan." There, True Love Will Find You in the End is great. Got to Get You Into My Life, a little bit of a throwaway. I think Tears, Stupid Tears is a little bit of a too much of a percussive. Take it, take. That's but Don't Play Cards with Satan is intense. And then you've got Funeral Home, going to that funeral home. And then at the end, you've got, this softly and tenderly thing that came at the end of the CD. And I guess it was a CD bonus track, but yeah, Funeral Home is so weird. And they said it's based on Cadillac Ranch, the Springsteen thing. But it's interesting he did it in Jersey too. That's really kind of strange. Oh my God. Funny thing of it is Jersey's coming up. You're going to hear a little bit more about Jersey too. It kind of comes into our Jay and I's new project. We'll be talking about that soon. I'm mixing the thing now, finishing the things up, but I've been saying that for a while. But I truly am. I've just been busy on other stuff, work and getting other things done. But it's coming. But anyway, I would certainly recommend anybody who's got the tenacity to handle, earth-shaking, troubling things like this. This is a record that you won't forget. I guarantee you. I mean, it's at the first when he started. He says, "The devil has Texas." It's a little much, man. At the first, you don't know whether to laugh or whether to cry, but you realize that he's in some deep stuff here. So, any of you can handle this. This is one that I would think, if I'm going to do my rating with his work, this would be up there at the top. Once again, much of the same as Tonight's a Night would be for Neil Young. And there's something about the raw honesty of these records and records like War and things when somebody is untethered, that stuff happens that doesn't normally happen. And you hear connections and you hear things that wouldn't happen otherwise. And so I think this is interesting. I've always been a big fan of his. I've got all his stuff. I bought it was like I said, I bought his cassettes from Jeff back in the days and in the late 80s or early 90s. And then he kind of took off here, but this one's something else, man. So, anybody thoughts on this? Let me know what you guys think. I mean, if you're familiar with Daniel, let me know. I mean, he comes from the state, so we kind of keep track on him. And once again, I recommend you watch that, The Devil and Daniel Johnston. If you don't know about it, you can probably find it somewhere and watch it for streaming on somewhere. Probably get it free by now. But anyway, I thank you a lot for checking this out, and we will be back again when I can get something else happening here. Okay, it's getting to the holidays. We got some ideas, but we'll talk to you guys later. Great to have you around, and I hope everybody out here has a great holiday. Check this record out. Thanks.